The family of former chairman of the Nigerian Exchange Group, Abimbola Ogunbanjo, has sued a U.S. company over the helicopter crash that killed Ogunbanjo, as well as the former Access Bank CEO, Herbert Wigwe, his wife and son. Ogunbanjo's family alleges wrongful death and negligence in the crash and are seeking a jury trial and payment for his funeral expenses. His family says the flight should have been grounded because of a potentially bad weather ahead, while they say the charter company Orbic Air LLC flew the helicopter despite a mix of snowy and rainy conditions in the Mojave Desert, where the crash occurred on February 9. The lawsuit was filed in San Bernardino County Superior Court, while the National Transportation Safety Board is still investigating the cause of the crash. Arise Deputy Director of News and Judiciary Editor Tobi Soniyi joins me now in the studio to look at this development. Good to see you on News Night.
To be here.
So the Ogunbanjo family is making a case of wrongful death and negligence.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah, what they are saying is that if the helicopter company has exercised enough care, their husband, I mean, if it's the wife that would not have died. That's what they call wrongful death case in the U.S. So if the jury agrees with them, they will be entitled to damages, funerals, including the salary he could have been earning, assuming he was alive. So that is what the case is all about, wrongful death. How
easy would it be to make this case?
Yeah, there are conditions they must fulfill. One, that the helicopter company owes them a duty of care, and that duty has not been fulfilled. And as a result of failure to exercise that duty of care, the man died, and the dependents have suffered some damages because of that. So they need to prove those four grounds. They will need to call witnesses. They will need to adduce evidence. It's not just a la carte. You need to adduce evidence before you can succeed in the case. Yeah.
And further, I mean, they say that the flight should have been grounded because of treacherous weather that was already obvious before the aircraft took off, or before the pilot, took that flight. That fatal flight.
Yeah, that is their case. The helicopter company may advance a contrary view, but if we go by the report that we have, there were reports that there was snowy weather, there was some rains, but are they so bad that an helicopter cannot fly? That's one of the questions the jury will have to answer.
Considering the fact that helicopters are known to not be able to handle that kind of wintry mix. Yeah. Well, we'll see how things do pan out. But let's come back to Nigeria and the, Lateef Fagbemi, the Attorney General, and the Supreme Court trying to unload, make things easier for the Supreme Court. Let's get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure many people will be
asking
comfortable
that more cases should end at the appeal court.
I'm not sure. Well, it's good to save the Supreme Court some troubles, but if we assess the Court of Appeal based on the election petition that we just had, most people would like their case to get to Supreme Court. We see how the Court of Appeal messed up in Plateau. People who should not have been sacked were sacked. So is that the same Court of Appeal that you want to give more cases to? Well,
doesn't this call for reforms at all levels of the judiciary, whether you're talking about the appeal court, Supreme Court,
absolutely, I agree
High
with you there. For instance, I'm not sure he said anything about adopting technology. One of the reasons why cases are slow is because our judges write in longhand. We need to do away with that. Otherwise, no amount of this reform, I mean, the congesting Supreme Court, transferring the cases to appeal court, will make things faster.
Without technology?
Yeah, we need to adopt technology.
Absolutely, all the way.
Yeah.
I have to say thank you very much, Tobi Soniyi. Deputy Director News, Arise News here in Abuja. Thank you for joining us.